Shalom lכל ישראליתים בהרבות כנפות של הארץ. אריני זקן אסף בנמי Crispin Levi מהיישוב ישראלית בפררה ברט. אני ראיתי רוצה איתך ורמשפטך על המצוות של תורתך מפניהם ראימנו. Thank you very much. Here Zaken Assaf Benami Crispin Levi from Yishuv Israelite in the city of Pereira Barreto, São Paulo State, Brazil. We are studying about the mitzvot shel Torah. We stop at the number 43. And now in the Torah, in the 600 and the 13 commandments, Tariag mitzvot. Now we're going to the number 44. The omer offering of the first barley must also be brought to the Cohen, priest. So the morrow after Shabbat, he waves it. Vaikra, chapter 23, verses 10 to 14. Vaikra. Vaikra, chapter 23 or 23, chapter 10, chapter 23 or 23, verse 10 to 14. Verse 10. Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, when you come into the land which I give you, and shall reap its harvest, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh for your acceptance. On the morrow, after the Sabbath, the priest waves it. And on that day, when you wave the sheaf, you shall prepare a male lamb a year old, a perfect one, as a burnt offering to Yahweh. And its grain offering, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering made by fire to Yahweh, a sweet fragrance, and its drink offering 1/4 of a hin of wine. And you do not eat bread or roasted grain or fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to your Elohim, allow forever throughout your generation in all your dwellings. Well, the counting of the omer, okay, I explained it. And the former week, in the former study, namely the counting of the days of Shavuot. And I invite you to see in the YouTube this study, the count of the Shavuot. It's very important. Why we celebrate the Feast of Shavuot or the Feast of Weeks different from the Judaism, rabbinical post-temple. And why we celebrate in the 14th of June this year, and they celebrated in the last 29th of May. Okay, it's very important to see the difference. And I explained it in my former study, my former explanations. Well, we're going to see this. The omer offering of the first barley must be brought to the Cohen priest, so the morrow after Shabbat. He waves it. Because I think that you can fix the date in day 6 of Sivan, like the Judaism or did. because when you observe the phase of the moon, you can see that the phase of moon is rotative. Okay? And if you broke the omer, okay, before the Shabbat, you pass to count the 7 weeks, full 7 weeks after the Shabbat, like it's written in the Torah. The offering of the first barley must also be brought to the Cohen priest, so the morrow after Shabbat. And if you count the morrow after Shabbat, the 50 days of the Shavuot, it's going to be just in one Sunday, in the first day of the week. Okay? Well, let's see it in the oral law. Shemot 9:31. Shemot 9:31. Shemot 9:31. And the flax and the barley were smitten, for the barley was in the head, and the flax was in bud. You can see in the oral law, okay, before the outgoing of the Egypt, the Mitzrayim, in the oral law, it was observe the new moon and the barley, the reap of the barley. In the time of Yahushua, this item number 42, Romans, chapter 11, verse 16. Romans, chapter 11, 16. Now, if the first fruit is set apart, the lump is also. And if the root is set apart, so are the branch. Then these first fruits should be set apart to dedicate to Yahweh. Okay. And after this bringing of the omer, okay, and our fathers, the Israelites, okay, they waited to pass the last week of Abib. In the Shabbat, the morrow after Shabbat, they counted 50 days, and it will be the Shavuot. Okay, well, let's go to the number 45. An additional offering must be offered at the Feast of Weeks Shavuot. Numbers, Bemidbar 28, chapter 28, verse 26 to 30. Bemidbar, Numbers 28, verses 26 to 30. Let's read. And on the day of the first fruits, when you bring a new grain offering to Yahweh, at your festival of weeks, you have a set apart gathering. You do no servile work, and you shall bring near a burnt offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs a year old, with their grain offering of fine flour, mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah of each bull, 2/10 for the one ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, one male goat to make atonement for you. Perfect ones, they are for you. Prepare then with their drink offerings, besides the continual burnt offering with its grain offering. Then, one additional offering. Why additional offering? Because every day had the one lamb in the time of Shaharit in the morning, and one lamb in the time of Mariv in the afternoon. And when it got to new moons, the 7th moons, the moedinhos, okay, they increased the sacrifice, the animals, the flowers, okay? Well, let's see that this item in the oral law, this item number 45. 45. Bereshit 27:37. Bereshit 27:37. Bereshit 27:37. 27:37. Then Yitzhak answered and said to Esau, see, I have made him your master, and all his brother I have given to him as servant, and I have sustained him with grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son? Okay, this grain and wine, it was in the oral law, it was sacrifice, okay, because the Eternal One has just one law for to judge everybody in the last day. And he doesn't have several laws like the religions, okay, claim. Now, the Eternal One is just, and they have the Torah that will judge everybody, okay? Well, let's see this item 45 in the times of Yahushua and his Talmud. An additional offering must be offered at the Feast of Weeks Shavuot. Masei Shilihim, Acts 2, 1 and 46. Masei Shilihim, Acts. Masei Shilihim. Shilihim. Masei Shilihim. 2, 1 and 42. 2. Let's see. Let's read, okay, from 2 Acts 2, 1 and 2, and afterward 46. And when the day of the festival of weeks had come, they were all with one mind in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from the heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled at the house where they were sitting. Okay, 46. And day by day, continuing with one mind in the set aparted place, and breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart. Okay, then this additional offering of the Feast of Weeks, because in in the week of the Shavuot, call it the Feast of Weeks, you bring the first fruits of your reaped in that week. And you bring two breads, okay, to move them before the Eternal One. And the Kohanim bless these offerings, like it's written in the Torah. Okay. Well, let's go to the item number 46. 46. 2 wave loaves of bread baked with salt must be offered on the Feast of Weeks Shavuot. Vaikra, Leviticus, chapter 23:17. Vaikra, chapter 23, verse 17. Bring from your dwellings for a wave offering 2 loaves of bread of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour. They are baked with leaven. First fruit to Yahweh. Okay, then these 2 breads, okay, like you can see in the Torah, okay, 2 loaves of bread, the 2/10 of an ephah, okay, ephah was a measure, okay, in that time, of fine flour. And they are baked with leaven, first fruit to Yahweh. This was the first fruit to Yahweh. And afterwards, they ate the other fruit, the other sacrifice. Okay? Well, let's see each in the oral law. Okay, oral law. This item 46. Bereshit 1:14. Bereshit 1:14. Bereshit 1:14. And Elohim said, let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for sides and appointed times and for days and years. And this is the ordinance to the sun, to the moon, and the stars, okay, because they would serve for the to appoint the Hamoedim, inclusive, okay, the Feast of Shavuot. Okay. Well, let's go to this item number 46 in the times of Yahushua. Acts, Masei Shlihim, chapter 2, verse 1 and 42. Acts or Masei Shlihim in Hebrew, okay. Chapter 2, verse 1. And when the day of the festival of weeks had come, they were all with one mind in one place. Verse 42 now. And they were continuing steadfastly in the teaching of the emissaries, in the fellowship, in the break of bread, in the prayer. And this bread was the bread of the Shavuot, 2 loaves of bread, like it's written in the Torah. We stopped at the number 46. Next week we will continue with that in the number 47. I thank you. Okay. Yahweh bless you and your family. Yahweh Baruch Atah רמי שפרק גמי, ועל כל הם אשר שומעים לי, אשר רואים המצוות של תורתך, נהיות שוב. אני מקווה שהעולם יכול להסכים, שאתם יכולים להבין רשובה של מצוות של תורתך. כל ישראלים בברזיל, באירופה, באסיה, באפריקה, בישראל, ובכל ארבעת כנפות של הארץ. זה ברכה של זקן אסף בנמי קריספין לוי. יהוה עמכם, יהוה יכול לברך אותם בחשן יהוא שוע, השם של ברית שלה. תודה רבה.